Don, thank you so much for sitting with us today here at Spark Media 2023. It
Yeah.
has been a great conference. We are coming to a close, and tell us what you know about Spark. What's your favorite? What have you experienced? What's your takeaway?
Well, first of all, this conference has been absolutely amazing. I've loved it. We had so much fun. We also have been encouraged. We've been challenged. You know, they've named it appropriately, Spark, because it really ignites in you innovation and creativity and ideas. But it's kind of like, you know, I liken it to this, like when I was in Russia or any other country for that matter, I didn't understand the language. You know, I'd walk around and think, I don't belong here, I don't know. But every now and then, my head would turn because I'd say, wait a minute, I recognize that language. Somebody
Yeah.
was speaking
Yeah.
English. And I just feel like I'm in a community that we speak the same language.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's so much comfort in that to say, you get me.
Yeah.
I get you. We're speaking the same language. We're here to help each other. And it's just been really incredible. I enjoy it being with other podcast nerds and creatives and people who understand the power of the message of God.
Yeah. So good. So good. Okay, so is there a certain topic or a certain moment that really stands out to you about the conference?
Well, karaoke was a highlight.
As it always should be.
But yeah, the speakers have all been really incredible, and because they're not just talking about something, they've done it. They are ahead of us in the journey.
Yeah.
We can look at them and say, you're not just giving us information, but it really is revelation because you have the experience.
That's good.
One of the brothers that just spoke a moment ago, Pastor something, he talked about don't believe your own hype, and he talked on identity. That was powerful.
Wow.
Such a great word to say that in this business and in podcasting, you can really get sucked up in, I'm not something enough. I don't have enough likes. I don't have enough followers. Or, wow, look at me. I got all of that. Only for 2 days later for your numbers to go plummeting.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to
Yeah.
have that foundation of
Yeah.
identity and know who you are and that you're not in this for a popularity contest. So that was a very powerful message as well. And just all the secrets and the trades. We're with the experts. We're with the people who can help us get better.
There's such a depth I've noticed in people here, like you said, that, I mean, they're not shallow. Everyone we've interviewed has been like such
Yeah.
experience behind them and wisdom, and so
Yes.
there's just a lot to pull from.
There's a
so,
depth, yes,
Yeah.
here. It's not a shallow conference and
Yeah.
it's not shallow attenders. They're doing the stuff.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They all have shows. They're all striving for, excellence in their areas, the wisdom that they all have. But what's been so great about that is they're also very eager to give it away. It's not a
Yeah.
closed loop group. I've been to a lot of conferences, a lot of different things, and some of them you go to and you feel like you're doing a business transaction the whole time because you're like, gosh, I got to hand my card out. I've got all these cards. I've got all these things. And it's so hard to connect. And it's like, what am I going to say to this person? Because they're looking at you like, are you going to
Yeah.
talk to me? Or,
Yeah.
this has been like,
absolutely.
hey, how's it going? So friendly. And then you end up just sharing because you're adding value to them and they're adding value to you. And it's just been a really
Yeah.
good connecting place
I agree
that
with
we've
that.
noticed, and everybody that we've talked to has
Adding value,
made-
adding that value to each other. There's just a spirit of generosity.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that in the world, and sometimes the world doesn't understand it. Why are you giving this away for free?
Right.
Yeah.
But we understand the principles that you can't outgive God. So
Right.
when you keep giving and
Yeah.
sowing, God just replenishes back. So I totally agree with you.
And I
Yeah.
have to stop and say that it takes creating that environment for that to be so well done. And I believe that Peter and Misty have been a great picture
Yes.
of generosity. I mean, this whole conference, they have been so generous. They've been so kind. They've touched everything with excellence and attention to detail. And you haven't felt these are big undertakings, and you haven't
Yeah.
felt the
Yeah.
chaos of the big undertaking.
It's a
You've
mammoth
really
undertaking.
felt, yes, you've really felt the generosity and the kindness that
There's
they
a
had to
peace.
offer. Yeah, and a piece
Yeah.
that they've had to offer here, and that fosters this type of connections.
This is the culture.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the
Yes.
culture that they've created
is.
here,
Beautiful.
and I've been, I know we've been super blessed to get to, interview everybody that's been here, and
so many great people and interviews.
What's been your favorite interview?
Oh, well, Adam
Or your
Curry was
favorite?
kind of a highlight for me in a way, and just kind of
Yeah.
I think a fun one was,
Podfather.
I mean, everybody's been so
They're so-
great
yeah.
in the wisdom that everybody's given, but I think one of the ones we had was fun. They interviewed us.
Yeah.
So it was
Right.
a turn of
Tony.
it was a turn
Yeah.
of
Turning the
tables.
tables.
Yeah, he was
You know?
like, "Are we rolling? Oh, he's interviewing us now."
Right. See,
He's
that's
like,
what
"Tell us-
podcasters will
tell us
do.
about what you're, he was just like probing, and it was so good.
Yeah. So,
Fun.
that was just fun. It's something different, but it has been great. I mean, we've learned new skills, we've learned new tactics, we've learned
Yeah.
new shows,
Yeah.
we've learned wisdoms, we've learned
New
softwares, new
platforms, yeah.
platforms.
All the things.
Yeah.
All of the
Yeah.
things here have been so great,
And isn't it, sometimes we come to a conference and they say, just get started. Just get
Right.
started. Just take
Yeah.
out your phone
Yeah.
and just get started.
Yeah.
And who didn't start that way? I mean, I did for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monday Mojo. Hi.
Here it comes.
But,
Yeah.
but it's incredibly massive to do a podcast, to do it right, to do it with
Yeah.
excellence,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
There is a little heavy lifting involved.
Yeah.
But, there's a saying that says nobody can do the push-ups for you. No,
So
they
true.
can't, but they can teach you how to do them right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and that's what I feel like's happening here. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is a lot of work, no doubt.
Yeah.
But you can shave off that learning curve when you come to something like this because they help
Yeah.
you do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true. So true. So, okay, tell our audience how they can get in touch with you. What all do you have going on? Your show, if you have any books or blog spots or anything like that.
I have it all. Who doesn't?
I like that.
Wherever you
I
want to
have it
start.
all. So I'm an author of 6 books.
Oh, great.
And my website is dawndamon.com
Okay.
for the first few books. And those are on inner healing for women who have experienced childhood trauma, sexual abuse. My first book I actually wrote for husbands because in my past life, I got married after childhood trauma and I thought it's over because it's over. But it wasn't over, it was just beginning. And the post-traumatic stress and all of the pain and all the things that I had buried that I didn't know suddenly became triggers.
Yeah.
And my husband kept bumping up against my wound, and I didn't know it. I just thought he was a classic jerk. I didn't realize that, oh no, guess what?
Yeah.
You have wounds.
Yeah.
In addition, that we were both young.
Yeah.
So when I lost that marriage after 28 years,
Oh, wow.
because of, God did a miracle and we did great things, but he just had that classic midlife thing happen and really kind of mad at life. In any way, I wrote my first book, When the Woman You Love Has Been Abused, A Husband's Guide to Helping His Wife. And in that book, I just shared all of the things about what's going on with her. Some husbands are so upset, like, she won't talk about it. She won't tell me what happened to her. I say, listen, bro, she's not telling herself what happened
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
So in that book, I lay it all out. And then the second book I wrote for the woman herself, kind of a guide and a journey to understand what's going on inside of you. And then the third, fourth book, called The Freedom Challenge, because once we figure out what's going on with us, now it's time for freedom. It's time to break those chains. And so I wrote a 60-day freedom challenge for women. Then my husband and I, my new husband, current 12 years, we wrote the freedom challenge for men.
Oh, great.
This next book, my 6th book, is called The Making of a Brave-Hearted Woman.
Aw.
Because I've journeyed these many years with all of these women
Yeah.
that, we were in our 30s figuring out life, recovering from our wounds,
Yeah.
finding our voice, getting set free. Now what? So it just made sense that it was like, this is time for the revolution. We're stepping into our most significant, greatest season of all. We have the most wisdom. We have the best
Yeah.
story to tell.
So
It's
true.
a story of redemption. We've learned. We're ready to mentor our daughters and the next generation. But we have to stay the leading lady of our own show. Don't step off the side of the stage and say, oh, it's your turn now. No, it's both of our turns.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing, coaching, speaking, pastoring coaches, pastoring pastors.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
All
I
those
love
things.
that. That's,
And so, what's the name of your show, and how do they find your show?
The name of the show is The Brave-Hearted Woman with Dawn Damon, and it's on all the usual suspects:
'Kay.
Spotify, Apple,
That's great.
Stitcher,
Yeah,
wherever those
yeah.
things happen.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
Talk about depth. Wow, there's a lot there
Yeah.
to unpack there.
Yeah.
So good. So
Lots
people
there.
need to dive in.
Yeah.
Find your podcast. And
Yeah,
go.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope that you will. We talk all
Yeah.
things empowering
Yeah.
women to be brave-hearted.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Go check out her things, and it's been great again.
Yeah.
Thank
been
you
another
for
one.
having me in this little moment. And sorry, Adam, but I am now the favorite interview.
I think so.
I think so.
Strong contender
I
here.
think so. Yeah.